Hey, happy Friday to everybody. Welcome into this episode here of the Payoff Pitch. I'm, of course, Jason. He's, of course, the Hockey Squirrel. We're powered by BetUS. Fantastic sportsbook. There's a link down in this video description. Go ahead and check them out if you haven't already. What a great day. We're at the end of the week. We've got the weekend here, Father's Day. You got the U.S. Open on Sunday. Fantastic baseball slate. Excited for today and excited to talk baseball with you guys. How's it going there, Squirrel?
Hey, man. Not the worst. I decided to catch up on some sleep, so I fell a little bit behind my normal handicapping schedule. So I feel a little I don't want to say too unprepared, but just not as in depth as I normally would. I don't even have my full card out yet for my own members, so today's maybe more of just a tad of a topical view of kind of looking at spots of interest more than full on very deep analysis type bets. So that'll come a little bit later for the members and stuff. But yeah,
Nice.
otherwise a really good week. And I think I lost my first game yesterday that I've given out as an official bet. But I went 3-1 here last night. Actually, the two pitcher props both cashed, and that Phillies F5 team total. Blackburn, what?
Yeah, I was waiting
Sorry.
for that. Waiting for
Sorry.
it. I mean, how long you gonna let me sit here and just know it's coming? Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Oh man, yeah. So I was watching that one. I hit you up right after. I'm like, ooh.
So annoying. So annoying. I mean, literally said out loud. If he throws him a fastball on the outside of the corner, the way he had just been sitting there, getting curveball after curveball, you knew he was just gonna look at a fastball go right by him, and he couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. Really, really unfortunate. But nice call by you, man. Over 3.5 Ks. That's a hell of a call by you. I made money again yesterday. Just continue just mopping the floor with baseball, to be quite honest, and really enjoying the times right now. You know what we need on today's show? We actually need extra innings. I don't think 9 innings is going to do it. That's how many bets I have. I love today's baseball slate. Today's a day for wherever you work. You're going to collect a paycheck. I'm going to help you guys also put a paycheck in your pocket today. I'm really excited for these games. So let's continue the good times. We've got that comment section open. I've already seen some outstanding comments. You guys are bringing the energy, the passion already today. So keep those comments going. Let us know what some of your best bets are over the course of today's. And as we're sitting here talking, and hit that like button as well if you're enjoying this show. Let's jump on into it. Second base, or second inning, call it around the bases. We'll take a couple of games. Which one do you want to kick off the show with, Squirrel?
It's gonna be not the earliest game, but pretty close to it. It is an afternoon game here, and a pretty uncharacteristic play for me as it relates to the amount of juice that you would have to pay at the book. Best line out there at retail odds, at least, is minus 172. On the money line, I am only really interested in the money line because the pitcher has a bit of fault, and that's Charlie Morton. It's going to be Charlie Morton against Keegan Thompson. I am on the Atlanta Braves there at minus 172, so quite a steep price, but for the offensive output, which is really all you should be looking at for this game, it is Braves. The amount of runs they've brought in, whether it's versus right-handers, etc., they're completely doubling the Cubs in almost every aspect. I think they brought in overall 82 to the Cubs 41 runs in the last 2 weeks. They're even doubling them just against right-handers. I have a system that I don't really want to give out, but it is upwards of damn near 90% straight up. So, at a minus 172, and it's not totally over-filtered. It's 5-42, I think it would be. Going against the Cubs so far. So all of that leads me to, it's always comes down to that implied probability of what you're being offered versus the expectation of, how often you expect it to cash. And that is the highest of games for today, is that opening Atlanta Braves line.
Like the Braves today, I want to talk about that game a little bit later on. I think that one could turn into high scoring, but I think the Braves do ultimately go ahead and pull it out, like you've kind of mentioned there. Like that play. All right, I want to go ahead and do an afternoon game. It's the other afternoon game. It's that Phillies and Nationals. I like over 10.5 runs. Get that one at minus 118. I know it's a lot of runs, but there's a reason there's a lot of runs, because we got some good pitchers on the mound that can go ahead and support that. We've got Adon here for the Nationals. How many times you want to go ahead and fade him? Sign me up for one more. Everyone crushes this guy. This guy's got no control. He's got tons of walks. He's, just a terrible picture. I don't even know how he's in the leagues. He keeps pitching like this, he's going to be sent down to the minors. So obviously the Phillies are swinging an incredibly hot bat. Think that they'll just crush Adon like everybody else. And then Suarez. He's on the mound here for the Phillies. What do we like about him? Well, his opponent's batting average is .268. His whip is at 1.5, and his ERA is at 4.4. The Nationals are still crushing left-handed pitchers. They're still sitting in the top 10. That's the one thing that the Nationals have done pretty much consistently all season long is hit left-handers. Think they'll obviously be able to hit Suarez. You get Juan Soto back in the lineup today. Absolutely love that. And both these bullpens are sitting in the bottom half of the league. They're around 15 to 20, 25 in terms of your bullpen stats across the board. So give me two starters that struggle. Give me a team that's good versus right-handers right now in the Phillies. They're top five versus right-handed pitching. They should crush Adon right here. So I love over 10.5 runs. Not scared of the doubleheader. Not scared of 11 runs. Let's go over 10.5 runs at -118 in Game 1. Only want to target Game 1, Suarez versus Adon. What's another game you want to talk about, Squirrel?
One of the lesser popular, it would have to be, I would think. For some reason, I feel like Texas Rangers are getting some love. At least I've heard a couple different people now, you included, saying that you would lean the Rangers, I think, and understandably so with Detroit being terrible offensively. But the boost I think they receive is from Tarek Skubal. Going against John Gray. So, oh my God, 16 miles an hour wind out. I didn't see that until right now, actually, at that ballpark. So that does impact at least a game total as well, if that's something you wanted to look at. But I don't know if I want to do this in the first 5 on Detroit or if I would want to go a full game. I think I probably would lean like first 5. I haven't even looked at what that money line would be. I know they're moving in the correct direction, though. Detroit is. So, moving from a whatever, like -115 to -120, or 125, whatever they're at currently. They are getting the actual money, though. But I understand from an offensive perspective that Texas would be, the pick. I had them last night for my full card on Texas, but I think I would swing the other way and maybe try first 5 on Skubal today.
Boy, one of the things I like the Rangers today for a couple of reasons. One of the things I like about them is the way the Tigers lost that game. When you're a scuffling team and you're losing and you have a lead going in that 9th inning, your closer blows it and you end up going home as a loser, that can just carry over the next day. That can be a really deflating loss. So we'll see how that one pans out today. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this White Sox versus Astros game next. I like the White Sox F5 team total over 1.5 runs at -105. The White Sox are back. They are back mashing left-handed pitching. We know best because we've backed the White Sox in their last 2 starts versus left-handers. Remind you, we backed them against Martin Perez and Tyler Anderson, and we got 2 cashes. Don't see why we won't get a cash today going over 1.5 runs. Valdez is good. He's got some good, decent numbers. But I'm going to lean on this White Sox team that scuffled at the beginning of the season. Remember, we weren't taking the White Sox against left-handers. Now we are 2nd in batting average, 2nd in on-base percentage, 8th in slugging, and 5th in on-base for slugging. They're just simply put, they're back like they were all last season and killing left-handers. I think 2 runs is a very reasonable ask against what this team is doing against left-handers. Sign me up all day. With what they're doing, they just destroy left-handers. Too good. Don't care what Valdez's numbers look like. He's in for a rough day against this White Sox team. So give me that F5 team total over 1.5 runs at -105. We've talked long enough. It's time to shut up and give these guys some pitching props. I know you said you haven't put anything together. Did you come up with any pitching props?
Yeah, I have one and only one, and if you have never really looked into the amount of strikeouts that's pulled off by Charlie Morton, it's a lot, and it's quite often. It's 12 in his last game, although it was Pittsburgh Pirates, but my God. 12, 8, 5, 5, 9, 5. It's pretty consistent and pretty constant, and you get an over-under of 5.5 here today, but against the Cubs. And it's -140 to do so, but I would go ahead and I'm already laying juice at -170 to take the Braves. I would go ahead and back Charlie Morton there to rack up some strikeouts today as well, to go over.
All right, I got a guy here on the mound in this Yankees versus Blue Jays game. I like Jordan Montgomery to stay under 17.5 outs at -130. We've been back in the Blue Jays a couple times here recently. When did we back the Blue Jays? Anybody remember? First left-handers, folks. First left-handers. Jordan Montgomery is a left-hander. Blue Jays first in batting average, first in on-base percentage, first in slugging, and first in on-base, first slugging. They do it all versus left-handers. Nobody's better than these Blue Jays right now. Jordan Montgomery only went 5 innings earlier this season versus the Blue Jays. He obviously would need to go 6 innings for us to not get a cash. He's not going to go 6 innings. The Blue Jays are absolutely going to wear him out and grind him out, even if they don't get the runs, which is maybe what I was a little bit nervous of, because Jordan Montgomery does seem to wiggle out of trouble. He'll get into trouble and get out of it. I just think over the course of 5 innings, those Blue Jays through hits and walks are going to wear him out. And what we have on our side, too, is we have a guy named Aaron Boone. Well, look, people ask me all the time, like, who's your favorite baseball team? I don't have a favorite baseball team, but I follow the Yankees the closest. That's who my brother supports, so kind of started years ago just to kind of make it so I could talk to him about something. I just kind of just follow the Yankees pretty heavily over the last 2 decades. Aaron Boone has a very, very quick hook. He'll go to that bullpen. There's a reason he goes to that bullpen. It's top 3 in the majors. Yeah, he's shown it time and time and again. He will not leave Jordan Montgomery out there through that rotation 3+ times. So I think he'll easily stay under 17.5 outs. I think he goes 5 1/3 is what he gets. So sign me up for a nice 5 1/3 outing by Jordan Montgomery, and that'll give us the cash at -130. Do you have another one, or do you want me to go again?
Just that one for the pitching props. The only thing that I felt truly confident in. I felt like some of the lines were set either just right or a little bit kind of too juiced and whatnot. So.
Okay. The other one I want to get, or I got 3 I want to give. I got a lot of bets today. I love this slate. We were both correctly on the Angels yesterday. Remember that there yesterday, Squirrel? We both called the Angels.
Yeah, I do. At a -120. Yep, with Ohtani.
Today is not that spot. Robbie Ray is going to go 6 innings. He's going over 17.5 outs at -110. The Angels are the worst versus left-handers right now. Nobody does it worse than the Angels. They're batting 141 versus left-handers. And to go along with a really poor batting average, they have the highest K percentage versus left-handers right now. It's a bad combination off against Robbie Ray. Coming off a very impressive 7 innings against those Red Sox, 0 runs. He's going to go 6 easy. He will pitch 6. He will go into that 7th inning. This one's a no-brainer. Love Robbie Ray against a very struggling left-handed hitting team in the Angels. Over 17.5 outs at -110. I'll go ahead and run off another one here. Eric Lauer, they're the Milwaukee Brewers. He's going to stay under 5.5 Ks at -122. It's cashed in 6 of his 11 starts. It's cashed in his last 2 starts where he only got 2 and 4 Ks. It stayed under in 2 of the 3 starts last season versus the Cincinnati Reds. The one where it missed on the hook, so right there. And the Cincinnati Reds versus left-handers have the second best K percentage versus left-handed pitching. This is a team to go along with that second best K percentage. They have the 4th best batting average versus left-handers. They should do some damage. I was a touch nervous on their F5 team total. It's at 2.5. It's at plus money. I certainly like it being at plus money. But I thought the much easier play in this game is let's not go for runs. Let's just say that the Reds are going to get contact. That's just what they do. They're going to hit a left-hander. Whether it's going to be for a hit or an out, I don't know. But they're not going to strike out against this guy. So give me Eric Lauer under 5.5 Ks at -122. All right, so those are my 3 pitching props. Let's go to long shots. You got a dog today that can get a win?
Yeah, I do. For sure not game 1, but game number 2 with Paula Espino, Washington Nationals. I'm going to go and take them, much like Detroit Tigers, in the first 5 due to the starting pitching. I remember liking Espino. Still, numbers are respectable so far, and much like backing Scooble, I know it's the Washington bullpen that really tends to screw them, I think, more so than who they have on this team for batters and offensive production. Is it scary to go against the Phillies? Yeah. I mean, you look at that lineup, you've got Hoskins and Harper and Castellanos and all these insane guys. But I think you were telling me Soto's back, right?
Yep, he's back in the game 1 lineup at least. He's back.
You still have big bats of Josh Bell and Cruz and whatnot. I think they can battle back, and if there's a spot to do it, the book, if you look at a sports book, the way that the lines are set also tells you something about the full game money line being plus 135 or whatever, and that first 5 innings money line on the same team being only plus 120. It tells you something, at least, that it's a little bit more likely to happen, at least in their eyes, mine too. So I would say if there's a dog to take that I've looked at Washington in game 2, first 5 innings money line, and that's two-way.
Two-way. Okay, cool. Like that right there. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a game you spoke about earlier. It was that Rangers and the Tigers game. I like the Rangers. Like the Rangers at plus 105. Think they'll definitely get the job done. Why do I like the Rangers? Well, let's look at what they're doing against left-handers. I respect that Screwball is on the mound, but I can't ignore that the Rangers are about top 10 offense. They're 8th in batting average. They're 7th in on-base percentage. Just doing really nice recently for us left-handers. Drawing walks at 10.6%. Can't ignore what they're doing against left-handers. Then you add that with what the Tigers aren't doing against right-handers with the 27th best batting average. Got John Gray coming into town. Think he'll be able to get it done. Tigers just can't get it done. Bullpen, huge advantage here for the Texas Rangers. They're sitting top 10. Tigers are sitting bottom 5 in bullpen. They already had their closer wet the bed yesterday. Couldn't get the job done. That's going to be deflating for that team. Tigers got no chance today. I like the Rangers today against Screwball. This is an opportunity for him to get ahead.
Line then?
Yeah, plus 105, full game money line. I think the
Cool.
Rangers.
So you can win that as long as I get my first 5. We can both do this. We don't have to go against each other today. We don't have to do this again.
Yeah, and the stats are fine with that too, because the bullpen discrepancy is huge for the Rangers. They have a really nice advantage in the bullpen. So just like they got to that Tigers pen last night, if we're in a deficit late, I wouldn't worry about it. They got a nice bullpen advantage. I want to throw out one more for you, everybody out there. I also think the Diamondbacks can go ahead and get a win today up against those Minnesota Twins. Minnesota Twins, we backed them against left-handers. We're not scared. I'd be a little scared right now. They got the 27th worst batting average in the major leagues versus left-handers. Bumgarner's not going to overpower you. He's not going to strike you out and blow everything by you. But I just can't ignore what they're doing against left-handers. Meanwhile, the Diamondbacks, they've got the 14th best batting average, and they're bringing power to the plate. Their slugging and on-base percentage plus slugging numbers are way up there in the top 10 for us left-handers. So 2 left-handers on the mound. I'll take my chances with the team that's got by far the better numbers, and they bring in the better bullpen in some stats. So, all right, let's see if Madison Bumgarner can't get it done at plus 110. I like the Diamondbacks to be another upset today. So Rangers and Diamondbacks for me. Sure. Keep swinging's the 5th inning. We normally give out hitting props. You give out any hitting props today?
Yep. Much like the pitching props, I have just one that I came across that I liked, and this is from not only a statistical standpoint against this particular pitcher, but also whenever I just happen to actually watch Houston Astro games, I like Michael Brantley. There's so many hitters to like on that team, on that roster, but he's almost hitting 500 against Lucas Giolito. He's had 15 at-bats, and he's gotten 7 hits off of him. 2 of them have been doubles, and 2 of them have been home runs. So I'm going to go ahead and take him at plus money, plus 120 on the over 1.5 total bases for Michael Brantley of the Houston Astros.
All right, I don't actually have any hitting props today. I just fell in love with the slate in general, and I had so many bets. I was trying to put them in. I just put in 2 hitting props that are over on their totals. I put them in keep swinging today. So let's run through them. I like the Cubs F5 team total over 1.5 runs. Charlie Morton's on the mound. You've touched on him. His numbers are terrible. Really, since that sticky stuff, they've been terrible. So I like the Cubs getting to him and getting to him absolutely early. They've already gone up against Morton too earlier this season, where he pitched 2.1 innings pitched and gave up 3 runs. Love the Cubs here today to at least get 2 runs in that first 5. Morton's allowed his last 4 opponents to go ahead and cash. Yeah, go ahead and sign me up. Like that one right there. And the other one I want to do is that Rangers F5 team total over 1.5 runs. I don't think it's a big ask to think we can get 2 runs off Scooble the way that they've been hitting left-handers. Obviously, it plays in along with my money line play. I like the Rangers overall, but just like it. Screwball's been good, but Screwball allowed the Blue Jays to cash and the Pirates. The Pirates cashed against Screwball. Don't tell me the Rangers can't get it done with how their offensive numbers sit in the top 10. The Pirates are towards the bottom versus left-handers, and they got it done. So Rangers will get it done. I think they'll scrape out 2 runs. So give me their F5 team total over 1.5 runs at minus 115. 6th inning, that's a steal. What on the board is a steal for you today, Squirrel?
I don't know where else to fit these. I don't know if we call them steals or not, but I have to talk about 2 extra games today because I know my best bet I'm going to repeat from my 7th inning. I don't know what I'm going to do for parlay, but I guess I want to talk about. It was mentioned here in the comments, which I didn't get to the game, and I I don't want it to not make sense that I didn't talk about them, and then we get to our ninth inning of we give out official bets, and I never talked about the games. It's going to be the Minnesota Twins today for me on the money line at a -130. We had talked about this before the live stream here, and you had brought up the point that they're no longer hitting left-handers, I think it was, as well. But I do absolutely love not only the offensive production of the team in general normally, but when I look at the rosters, you just have to like what you're getting out of that side of the lineup. I'm still scared every time. I mean, I would not want to bet against Polanco and against, whatever, Buxton and Correa and all these guys that come up to the plate, Luis Arias, and I just expect them to get base hits constantly. And you go against Bumgarner and the Arizona Diamondbacks, man, I will take my chances at a -130 there. Another line that is insanely through the roof, but for good reason, is going to be that over or game total in Colorado, where you have it at 12.5, I think, and I would still potentially take the over. We had looked at even the first 5 innings, I think, due to the bullpen, you and I, prior to the live stream here, and something I would honestly entertain with. You've seen how high those games were going at Wrigley Field with a 13-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. Now you put the game at altitude with a 13-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, and the pitchers that are going to be on the mound today, I certainly think you could make a very strong case for that over, and there's a reason that it's set at 12.5 or 13 here.
I love the over in that. I like the F5 over just a touch more. That Padres bullpen's been a little too good for me. But McKenzie and Freeland both pitched against the same opponents 5 days ago, and the F5 over hit. Love that over in that play right there. Let me run through a couple of these. Obviously, I like to give a NRFI in these, and we got to pick ourselves up after yesterday's NRFI. Boy, I got crushed on TikTok for giving out that NRFI. People act like I don't see the stats. Like, I don't know the Cubs are number 1 in terms of scoring in the first inning. I obviously know all this. I got crushed on TikTok yesterday. Yeah. Holy hell. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I've got 4 teams that I think can score in the first inning. All these are plus 200 or better. You decide what you want to bet, but I think these are 4 teams that can absolutely score in the first inning today. Mariners, I believe that they can get a run score in the first inning. They're going up against Michael Lorenzen. He's given up 10 runs in 10 innings pitched, 13 hits, 6 walks, 2 home runs, and 6 Ks. Poo-poo on a stick. I like the Mariners to score in the first inning. I like the Giants to score today in the first inning. They're going up against Zach Thompson. He's allowed 6 runs in 11 innings pitched, 12 hits, 2 walks, 3 home runs, and 10 Ks. I think the Giants will get you a good plus 200 cash. I think the Cubs can score in the first run. Obviously, I didn't like them yesterday. There's a reason, right? Pitchers are on the mound. I liked Musgrove. I got burned. Whatever. I got burned. It happens. Cubs today can score in the first run. We know how good they are. Charlie Morton's on the mound. He's given up 14 runs in 12 innings pitched, 15 hits, 8 walks, 4 home runs, 20 Ks. Other than Ks, that's a lot of poo-poo on a stick. And then the Tigers will also score today in the first runs. I think they'll be able to get to John Gray. Comes out terrible, 11 runs in 10 innings pitched, 12 hits, 7 walks, 1 home runs, and 10 Ks. I sprinkled those on a free roll. If you follow me long enough, you know what those means. I like all 4 of those teams to get it done. That's the Mariners, Giants, Cubs, and Tigers. Expect all of them to score in the first inning. 7th inning, coming to a stretch. It's time to give them the best bet of the day. What's that one for you today, Squirrel?
Absolutely resounding Atlanta Braves on the money line. I mean, again, for me, it is more of an uncharacteristic play due to the juice attached. Not something I generally do is giving out absolutely heavy favorites, and I don't like to really go over the mark of like a -140, -150, but in this case, for everything that I'm seeing, it is well worth it, and it is very important to note that this is the money line. You may think about taking a run line. I don't really particularly like it because of, I guess, Charlie Morton's ERA. His strikeouts are quite high and whatnot. I want to trust him, but this is just from a numerical standpoint, not something that's going to be like, if you're not getting a dude with a 2 ERA and all this, whatever. I mean, if you were getting Alek Manoah or something, yeah, maybe. But
I love how you found that angle, though, of Charlie Morton going over his strikeout total. He's got terrible numbers, but you found the one good thing he can do. You pair that with what the Cubs can't do, which is have plate discipline. They're striking out all over the time. Love it right there. All right, so you think that's your best bet of the day, Braves. I'm going to talk about that in a double play. I'm with you. I like the Braves. I think they're a solid play today. Morton's going to scare people, though. I think people are going to be scared when they bet the Braves and they go into that fifth inning and it's like 5-4. Don't worry. I'll talk about here in the eighth inning. They got the bullpen advantage by leaps and bounds. My best bet of the day, though, is White Sox Astros over 7.5 runs. White Sox Astros over 7.5 runs. I already talked about the White Sox, how I think they'll get to Valdez. They've just been crushing left-handers. And then I expect Giolito to get hit hard. He'll strike out people, but boy, he lets up a lot of hard contact. This is not a team you want to face when you give up hard contact here in the Astros. Expect them to get 3+ against Giolito. Then we move into the bullpens. White Sox bullpen continues to struggle. And then the Astros one sits around about 12th across most of the categories. You can see them 10 to about 16 across the categories there in the bullpen. But I think this will be over. Before we even get to the bullpens, I think you'll already be at 8 runs. That's how I expect both of these starters to get hit. So that's the best bet of the day on the board. It's White Sox and Astros over 7.5 runs at -120. We got to give these people a parlay. We do it in the 8th inning called double play. What is your parlay of the day, Squirrel?
Well, it has to be the Braves. I've talked about that enough. If you're going to pair it with another team that I really would expect to win, maybe the Minnesota Twins gives you a +170. I don't know if there's much else that I trust that much for a parlay. So I'll go ahead and say a Twins and Braves money line parlay at a +170.
Wow, gotta say, I'm surprised that was your parlay, and I'm surprised it's the 8th inning yet, and you actually haven't brought up the Giants with Rodon on the mound. So I thought you were going to parlay the Giants and Braves today. I thought that was going to be your pick. So you can get that at +135. I'm going to give out a different one, but I did want to mention that one because I know people like just money line parlays. I think that's the best one of the day. Braves Giants at +135. The parlay I want to give out today is Braves money line. Parlay that with Michael Wacha. They're the Boston Red Sox. Stay under 3.5 Ks. You can get that at +173. Look, this St. Louis Cardinals team doesn't strike out. Absolutely doesn't strike out. I want to pull it up. It's either second best or third best in the league. Let me re-pull it up. Third best in the league. Absolutely third best in the league. Michael Wacha is not striking out anybody. He's had a good season, but he's pitching to contact. That's what he does. He's pitching. He's not blowing it by. He's pitching to contact. He'll get you to induce soft contact, weak outs, and that's what he does. Great. He's going to stay under 3.5 Ks. I think he'll have a nice outing, but he's not going to be striking out anybody. So parlay Michael Wacha there of the Red Sox under 3.5 Ks. Get him with that Braves money line, as the Squirrels mentioned, and you can get that at +173. It's 9th inning, closer. Let's give these guys our best bet, and then let's talk about every single one of these games. I've got 2 games that I want to talk about, really, because at least the sports books that are offered to me, we don't have any Oakland Royals, and I want to make sure that game gets talked about because I think that's a great betting spot. So before we do so, though, let's give away our bets. Why don't you run through your 3 first?
Sure. Braves money line I've talked about enough. Great systems. Charlie Morton strikeout, and really it's all about the offense of the Braves against the Cubs. And Twins money line, I guess, if I were going to parlay with something, we just got done talking about this. Yes, they may struggle a little bit recently versus left-handed pitching, but that roster I just have to trust way more than the Arizona Diamondbacks, especially against the pitcher that they are going against, which is Bumgarner. And that Padres and Rockies over 12.5. There's a reason that line is set that damn high. You've got altitude, you've got 13 miles an hour wind out, and to top it all off, as Woodworker in the chat has talked about, it's going to be hot as a fire over there, and that does contribute to the ball. I guess the flight of the ball, right? Because of likely humidity and whatnot, and just sciencey things that makes the ball go further. So,
like it right there. Let me run through my bets, and then we'll do rapid fire. Phillies and Nationals game 1 over 10.5 runs. I think that game starts in an hour, so get that one in, folks, at -118. I'm gonna go. Oh, just look, BetUS has got that at 11 now. Get on that 10.5, folks. You probably still find it out there. White Sox Astros over 7.5. -120. White Sox F5 team total over 1.5 runs at -105. I'm going to do that Giants run line. I didn't talk about that game. I obviously snuck it in there on my double play. What's there not to like about the Giants taking on the Pirates today with Rodon on the mound? So I am going to back that Giants on that run line. Cubs F5 team total over 1.5 runs at -115. Rangers F5 team total over 1.5 at minus 115. Montgomery to stay under 17.5 strikeouts. Robbie Ray to have over 17.5 strikeouts. Eric Lauer under 5.5 Ks. And then the parlay of the day is at Braves with Michael Wacha staying under 3.5 Ks. Let me stay on BetUS and pull up these lines. This is what we got. Let's talk about all these games. Let's talk about the first one up. Phillies, Nationals. Let's see. Phillies minus 175. Nationals plus 150. I'm taking the Phillies on the run line just to say something different, not to repeat the over, but Phillies run line.
For game one, yeah, at least.
We should take an over-under how many more starts till Adon gets sent back down to the minors. I'd be interested in taking some action on that. I think that
probably could be today. He's 1-10. I don't know how is he still there. I have no clue.
I don't know. No fresh bodies in the D.C. area to take over for him, I guess. Braves and Cubs are the only other afternoon game. Over-under of 8. I think it's an easy over 8. Squirrel and I were talking before the show. I said, should I do Braves money line or over 8 in my parlay? I took Braves money line. I think over 8's an easy play. That's one I like. Over 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my money line play. I really like it. So.
Rays and Orioles up next. Rays minus 155. Orioles plus 135 with an over-under of 8.5. I'll take that Rays run line. Boy, Baez has got some nasty fastballs. Shane Baz, this guy's good.
Okay, yeah, I'm not overly familiar, and this isn't a game I really dug into. What would you think about an over?
Nah, it'll stay under.
Run line's better for you on the Rays?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll side with it.
Brewers Reds are up next. Over under of 9.5. Both of them are at minus 110. It's hard to trust that Reds bullpen. From an offensive standpoint, I gravitate easily to the Reds. Hunter Green,
I would too, and I think there's a reason that it's minus 110. I feel like generally the Brewers would be favored in that matchup, and when I open the book and see that they're not, it feels to me like a bit of a tip-off. I don't know if you would lean the same way or understand what I'm trying to get at there, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's been so long since I've actually bet the Brewers, and I think there's a reason. I think they're really kind of roller coastery. They're up and down from what I've seen anyway. And every time you have those teams where you bet on them and then they just collapse, like just every time you happen to bet on them, that's kind of the team for me that just does not perform well. I don't know. I mean, I would stay the hell away from the game, but if I had to pick a team, I would take the Reds, but maybe an over as well. I don't know. It's either the Reds or the over.
Reds or the over. Okay. Yeah, Reds. I like the Reds today. Giants and Pirates are up next with an over-under of 8. Giants minus 200. Pirates at plus 170. I will say this. While I like the Giants run line, I am more playing into Giants just being the better team. Giants having by far the better starter. The offense numbers, you don't have a huge advantage. Giants continue to still struggle at the plate, so not a big advantage. I think the bigger advantage is obviously going to come in this bullpen. So give me Rodon backed by the better bullpen. I think the run line comes through for us.
Okay. Yeah, and generally, I mean, my I don't know, my fondness maybe of Rodon and whatnot, but yeah, dude, I don't know what has been happening with the Giants at the plate. I don't know. It's been hard to get behind them, and I didn't feel that I wanted to do it today. If I had to, I would follow you in that, but yeah, no way I feel that in any capacity the Pirates would win that game.
Yeah, and with their struggling, you could even look at under 8. I mean, that's just how much the Giants have been struggling lately. So. Yeah. All right, Nationals and Phillies in Game 2. You like Nationals at plus 135. Phillies are at minus 155 with another over-under of 10.5. I always feel funny when it comes to the second game. I don't know. I'll do the Nationals with you. They won't get swept. Soto's back. He'll carry them to 1. So,
I think it's important to note, though, that I would only entertain that in the first 5 innings.
Oh, right. Yeah, you did say that. Okay. Yankees, Blue Jays up next. This should be a good series. Over-under of 9. Yankees minus 115. Blue Jays minus 105. I'm taking the Blue Jays in Game 1. They've just been crushing left-handers. Holy cow. Killing. And Stripling's not all that great. Don't get me wrong. So maybe you just want to take the over 9.5 and say, who cares who wins? Just give me runs. I like that, too. That's fine.
It's such a tough one. I looked at it from both angles. I looked at it from the Blue Jays. I looked at it from the Yankees. I looked at it from the over and the under. Dude,
that Yankees bullpen could just,
to me, something would call to me to take the Yankees on the money line for the fact that you just don't get them at that price too often.
I would even take the F5 over. Yankees bullpen just makes runs disappear late in the game, and you're just not scoring on that bullpen. So maybe the F5 over is actually a little bit better. Cardinals Red Sox are up next with an over-under of 10.5. Cardinals minus 105. Red Sox minus 115. Tough game when I tried to break it down and trying to find any angle in this game. It was tough, other than Waka and the strikeouts. Tough. I mean, just the stats. Red Sox do have the bullpen advantage. Hitting, there's no advantage in hitting. Bullpen, I'm taking the Red Sox. I did like their bullpen numbers recently.
Cool. I'll back them with you. Wait, let me before we finalize that, give me like 1 second. Just fill the time with something. Yep, Red Sox. Okay, I just wanted to check money. It's Red Sox.
Okay, good. Rangers Tigers. Rangers plus 100. Tigers minus 120. Over under of 8. I'm just gonna stick with my Rangers play. I like them.
Yep, I'll go heads up with you. I'll take the Tigers. Most likely, first 5. But if I had to go full games, I'd still take the Tigers.
White Sox or Astros are up next. This is another one I just don't know why you would try and pick a winner. With what the White Sox are doing,
right.
Versus left-handers, Astros against Giolito, over 7.5, it just screams too easy for me.
The over?
Yeah.
Sure.
It is worth noting that the lines come down. It was at 8, so I guess people are seeing something different than me. I don't know what the hell I don't know what stats people are looking at that would make this go under. I don't know. All right, Padres and Rockies are up next. Over under of 12.5. Woof. Padres minus 150. Rockies plus 130. I'm taking the Padres, and I'll be taking the Padres almost every day in this series. Padres have the number 1 batting average versus right-handers. Number 1 batting average. They're crushing right-handers. I'm going to be all on the Padres in this series. They've got by far the better bullpen. Padres, don't even think twice.
Yeah, I'm on the over. I like the heat. I like the wind. I like the averages, obviously, of the offenses, and I just, dude. I mean, there's a reason why Colorado has lines like this.
Yeah. All right, Twins and Diamondbacks. You've mentioned you like the Twins. I've mentioned I like the Diamondbacks, so we'll just move along on that one. Guardians and Dodgers. Here's one we haven't talked about. Nobody brought this one up. Guardians plus 240. Dodgers minus 285. Over under of 8. This one's tough. Bullpen advantage is pretty nice for the Guardians right now. I struggled with this one.
It would probably have to be a total because I don't feel comfy on a run line for some reason. I mean, on the Dodgers.
I'm taking under 8. I bet unders have been coming through in Guardians. I'm taking under 8.
Okay.
Last one we have numbers for, then we will talk about these other 2 games. Angels, Mariners, over under of 7.5. Mariners at minus 120. Angels, even money. I just take the Mariners, minus 120. What about for you, Squirrel?
Either that or I would try to play an over. I mean, Robbie Ray hasn't been the way he was last year, and I don't know exactly why. Another guy, though, he's expected to have a high strikeout total from what I saw in his pitcher props. I didn't really dig into his actual stats and see like how often he cashes those. But, yeah, I don't know. You got a guy with a higher strikeout rate, and then the Angels who really haven't been good offensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, probably not the worst. And then the Mariners are at home as well. So, yeah, minus 120, and it's not like you're going against Ohtani or anything like that. So, yep.
Okay.
Mariners minus 120.
All right, 2 other games we're talking about. We have no lines, no informations, but they're worth talking about. The first one is the Royals are taking on the Athletics. Daniel Lynch versus Frankie Montas. Here's the thing about this game. I'll fade Daniel Lynch till the cows come home. I mean, I love fading that bum. Athletics aren't crushing.
I see Zach Greinke, by the way, so I don't know.
Okay, then that's probably why we're not getting a line, because I'm seeing Daniel Lynch. So, anyways, if it is a left-hander, I was going to say back the Athletics, because, A, Daniel Lynch is terrible, and 2, they faced a left-hander yesterday in Rich Hill. They had success. I love it when you get to face 2 left-handers back-to-back, because you just don't see a left-hander that often, so to then string them back-to-back, love the Athletics. They've got their ace on the mound, Montas. They don't lose games that Montas and Blackburn, and I watched that game yesterday because I was following his under 3.5 strikeouts, and the announcer said it beautifully. When those 2 guys on the mound, the manager just pulls whatever strings he needs to get a win when it's Blackburn and Montas, and they'll just do whatever they can do the next 3 days. So would love if you get Daniel Lynch back to the Athletics. Do you agree? And we'll move on to the next game.
100%. Yeah, if you're getting Greinke, I don't know. There's an particularly about the Oakland ballpark. I don't know if it's good for overs or unders, but you have 11 miles an hour wind blowing out. If that makes a difference to you.
I don't know. There's nobody ever there to tweet what's going on. The stadium is too empty, so I never know what's going on in Oakland. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. I don't think anybody goes to that damn game. Nobody. So who knows what happens in Oakland? All right, the other game we're talking about, or the last one here, is Marlins-Mets. Everybody's going to say Mets. I think the better angle to play would be the Marlins F5 team total. I know it's going to come out at 1.5. I can almost tell you it's going to come out at 1.5. Carlos Carrasco's on the mound. Marlins are hitting right-handers really good right now and really have been over the course of the last month. It seems like every time we talk about Marlins are up there. First right-handers only, obviously. I don't know who's going to win that game.
They've been sitting in number 4 for pretty much every offensive category, and I don't know what the line's going to be, but I would back the Marlins. I'm a big fan of Pablo Lopez on top of that right-handed offensive production. And I have to think that Marlins are going to come out at some underdog odds, some form of underdog odds against the Mets at home. Absolutely, that would be the spot to back. And I'm going to wait for it before my full card comes out as well. So
I'm showing undecided versus Carlos Carrasco, or you're telling me it's Pablo Lopez?
That's who I'm seeing.
All right, I would do either the Marlins F5 team total. That's going to come out at 1.5, and they're going to kill Carrasco. Or I do the Marlins F5 money line two-way. You'll get the option to get a push, and you'll get it at plus money because the public will obviously back the Mets blindly in that situation.
Is that to avoid the bullpen?
Yeah, I'm not going after. I don't want the Mets bullpen. I also don't want the Marlins bullpen. Yeah, double whammy right there, a good and a bad.
Got it. Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. So there's quite a few spots to do that for the first 5 then today for Marlins first 5, Tigers first 5, and the Nationals game 2 first 5 is what I'm looking at. So it's a bit of a F5 day.
Okay, that'd be worth keeping on. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm likely going to add. Knowing how I add things, I usually add F5 team totals. So just check me out a little bit later on Twitter. I like the Marlins today to get after Carlos Carrasco. And that'll be Friday's edition here of the Payoff Pitch. Another outstanding day of comments. Love you guys bringing the energy. Thank you guys for hanging out with us Friday. If you are a father out there, let me wish you happy Father's Day early. Hope you get spoiled and treated right. So happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Let's turn Friday into a money-making day, and then let's kick butt this weekend. Make sure you're following us both on Twitter. We'll be firing out bets all weekend. Get on over to thehockeysquirrel.com. You can buy a day package for $5. He's going to stay hot, folks, so get on over there and check him out. Otherwise, enjoy your day, folks. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
See you later.